Hello, good morning. Tracy here this morning. It's Thursday. It's about 9 a.m. So I wanted to get online and do the weekly bite session. So whilst I'm just waiting to see anybody's coming on live, I just want to see if you'll had a great week. Today is a bank holiday. It's Thursday, so normally you should all not be online. You should all be with your families, enjoying yourself, and probably having a sleep in. That's fine. You can watch this in the replay, and I will, of course, upload this into the personal intranet space. So each week I get quite a lot of questions about healthcare, and that's normal because healthcare is an important issue for everybody. And if you saw the video from last week, I discussed about how you access the healthcare system and with which organizations you would work with for healthcare. And of course, for you guys who are in the Serenity Club, for the majority of you, we have your back on this. It depends what level of service you are at, but we help you with your healthcare access. I think today's session is really important to look at reimbursements because I get questions, obviously, which is completely normal, getting questions every day about reimbursements. So I think today we're going to look at that in more detail. So I have some notes next to me because it's a subject that's very complicated to understand, and it's not as easy to find information on as you would expect. So I understand it, but trying to explain to other people is a bit more complex. So if you want to join me and ask me any questions in the forum, you can, of course. If not, later on when you watch this, feel free to let me know that you've understood it, that it's been useful for you, or let me know any of the subjects that you'd like me to do a Facebook Live on. This is really dedicated time for you, for your questions, and for me to get a bit closer to you with those answers. So let's take a look at reimbursements because they are complex and we get questions about them. I wanted to first of all help you understand the vocabulary. Last week we looked a little bit about the different types of sectors, but we have what's called the reimbursements based on the tarif conventionné. And you will hear a lot of this word conventionné on your documents that you receive. First of all, you have the doctors that go into sector 1, 2, and 3. And the tarif conventionné depends on which sector the doctor is in. And if you're not sure which sector your doctor is in, you can find the details on the Amelie website. But generally speaking, sector 1 would be your local GPs, and the tarif conventionné is €25. The sector 2 is doctors that are €23, but they can also add on extra costs, which is called dépassement honoraire. So doctors in the sector 2 have the conventionné cost at €23, and they can then add on dépassement honoraire, so they could charge you €30 if they wanted to, for example. And then the sector 3 doctors, they are not conventionné, so therefore they can charge what they want, and you will not get reimbursements in the social security system. So to understand how you are reimbursed through the social security system, you have to understand which is the tarif conventionné. Okay, so if we look at the sector 1, the most common is the GP. He falls under sector 1 or sector 2. But if it's sector 1, it'd be €25, and all of you have had a situation to see a GP for yourself or your child, no doubt. So you would have a tarif conventionné of €25, and how are you reimbursed on that? Well, via the social security system, you are reimbursed 70% of the tarif conventionné of your doctor. Okay, 70%. So, for example, this €25, you would be reimbursed 70% of this, which works out to be, I believe, €17.50. Okay, and then they take off €1, which is basically the participation forfeiture that everybody pays for any biological acts, doctor's visits. Hi there. So you would take off that €1. So you would be reimbursed at 70% of the tarif conventionné. But then what about the questions I get a lot on the top up, the ticket moderator? So if you're reimbursed at 70%, and then you have the difference between 70% and 100% is 30%. So that 30% is your ticket moderator. And that is what, when you get a top up mutual, is how they work out how they're going to reimburse you. Hi Debs, thanks for joining. And we're just looking at reimbursements on healthcare in France and how it works, because I get a lot of questions every day. So the first thing to understand is you have your tarif conventionné. Okay, so if it's 25 euros, the Social Security will reimburse you at 70% of the tarif conventionné. Now attention, if you have a doctor charging you 30 euros, you will only be reimbursed 70% of the tarif conventionné, which is 25 euros, okay? So as we just looked in the previous example, that works out to be, I think, 17.50 euros. The difference, of course, is about 7.50 euros. And that is your ticket moderator. So that is the part, that 30% is the part that your top-up mutual reimburses. Yes, Deb, it really is. It's complex, and this is why it's very difficult to explain this in emails or any other way or form, really, which is why I want to try and get some answers out there, because people every day have difficulty understanding when they're taking out a mutual, a top-up mutual, how much they're going to get reimbursed, and also how much the Social Security are reimbursing, because the Social Security, they're going to say, we're going to reimburse you 70%. People think that's 70% of what you pay, but it's not. It's 70% of what the tarif conventionné is, which is the Social Security levels of reimbursement. So that is very important to understand. So there's only 3 different types of tarif conventionné. You have to know what they are. And generally speaking, GPs, it's 25 euros. So your GP in Sector 2 could charge you 30 euros. Or if you go see a dermatologist, he could charge you 40 euros. But you'll only ever get reimbursed at 70% of the actual Social Security level, which is called a tarif conventionné. So that is very important to understand, because it's based on that you can then decide what type of mutual you want. Mutual is your top-up insurance or your complementary healthcare. And if you understand what the difference is that you're going to have to pay, you can work out then what is the right type of top-up healthcare, because this is a question that comes in every day. Is this a good contract for healthcare top-up? And there's no straight answer. Again, it's complicated, and that's obviously why I'm here, is to answer these questions. And when you send me email and say, is this a good healthcare insurance, it has to be based on is what type of doctors are you going to see. If you are going to see a GP for yourself or your kids, and you know you're going to be paying 25 euros, and you're going to get covered at 70% of 25 euros, the difference is 7.50 euros for you. If you have a top-up mutual, which is covered at 100% of the ticket moderator, remember the ticket moderator is the difference between the 70% that you are reimbursed and the tarif conventionné. Okay, so in our example, it's 7.50 euros. Okay, so if you have 100% reimbursement by your top-up mutual, they will cover you that 7.50 euros. But what happens if you pay 30 euros for your doctor? Well, if you pay 30 euros for your doctor, you're going to get reimbursed your 70% by the Social Security, which is 17.50 euros. The tarif conventionné leaves 7.50 euros for ticket moderator, which the top-up mutual will pay you, but then there's still going to be left about 7 euros for your pocket, because of course, if you pay 30 euros, your 100% healthcare top-up will not cover that, okay? So this is the scenario. If you're thinking you're going to be seeing specialists or dermatologists, or if you're going to be seeing doctors that are going to have what's called the dépassement honoraires, where they're going to charge you more than what the local Social Security level is, then it's a good idea to get a top-up insurance that has at least 200% reimbursement. Because of course, if it's 200% reimbursement, it's 2 times the ticket moderator. So the ticket moderator, for example, we had at 25 euros was 7.50 euros. So if you had a 200% top-up healthcare, they would multiply that 7.50 euros by 2, because it's 200%, and they would reimburse you up to 15 euros. Obviously, this is just out of my head, so don't work out the maths too closely, but 15 euros. So that means if you did go see a doctor and they charged you 30 euros, they would cover the whole of the 30 euros. You see where I'm coming from? And of course, if you have a top-up healthcare, which is at 300%, they would give you 3 times back the ticket moderator, okay? So that is how the healthcare reimbursement works from a financial perspective. And when you're looking for your top-up healthcare insurance, make sure you ask me in your particular case if it's suitable. Because if you are just popping to see a GP now and again, there's no point getting a mutual 300% reimbursement rate when you know you're not going to be needing that amount of reimbursement. However, if you have lots of children, if you're obviously a retired person who have health issues, where you may have to be hospitalized, then it would be good to get a bit of a higher reimbursement rate on your top-up insurance. Just to remind you as well, hospital coverage is covered in France at 8%, okay? Whereas for general doctors, it's between 60 and 70% reimbursement, depending what type of medical act it is or what type of, if it's a blood test or things like that, it's 65%. But if you're going to be hospitalised, it's 8%. And again, we're talking 80% at the tarif conventionné, which leaves 20%, if you like, we'll just call the 20% ticket moderator, for your pocket, okay? Plus, if the doctors or surgeons have any dépassement honoraires, which is often the case in hospitals, the surgeons have different costs. So if you think you're going to be hospitalised in the future, then it's a good idea, again, to have a good top-up mutual, which is at least 200% or maybe 250%. Again, things like eyes and dentists, which are very badly covered in France, then again, top-up mutuals are where it comes important. So that is kind of an overview of the reimbursements, so that you understand how it's broken down and how important it is to understand that when the Social Security say they're going to reimburse you 70%, it is not 70% of what you pull out of your pocket. It is 70% of the tarif conventionné, that is the doctor's fee based on the Social Security system, okay? And that is the real key crux to the matter. Bear in mind as well, when you get your documents that come back from the Amélie or from the RAM, they will give you a breakdown of the costs that are being covered by the Social Security. And if you do have a top-up healthcare insurance, then you have to make sure that you give your Social Security documents to your mutual so that they will automatically send on the documents and you won't have to do any paperwork, okay? If you don't let your mutual know your Social Security number and give them the attestation d'ouverture de droit, then they will not be able to reimburse you directly, okay? So have I gabbled on long enough? Have I helped you understand better? I hope so. If you've seen this from the middle of the video, I would highly advise you go back to the beginning and watch it from the beginning, because it's important that you understand the vocabulary, and that it's important that you possibly watch it once or twice to understand, because it is a complex subject. And people ask me the questions and it's impossible for me in an email to explain this to you. I can tell you, yes, it's good or yes, it's bad, but I can't explain why. This is me explaining why, okay? So I hope that's helpful. Next week, we're going to look at some auto-entrepreneur issues. I've been having some questions over the last week from people on different types of attestations they can get, and we had problems that during the tax season, and also questions on the social charges. So I'm going to review the social charges. So each week I'll give you a little bit of information. So and I will put this in the group as well, so you will see it afterwards. Let me just check. Got any questions? Well, Deb, I know you're not in France, so that's okay. But if you ever come to France, you know, well, who was going to be helping you? So that said, it's almost 20 past, so I've done, I think, enough time for you today on a subject that's quite important. Please watch this from the beginning. Let me know if you've got any questions, and let me know if there's any other subjects that you need extra understanding on, and I'll be very happy to come in the group and do your Facebook Live. Okay? I'm going to say goodbye. It's a beautiful day. You may be there next year. Oh yes, come on over. We'll have some fun, Deb. So take some nice places. The sun is out, the sky is blue, and I'll organise your paperwork for you. Okay, I'm going to say bye, and I'll see you soon. Take care.